My time at Liverpool was probably the best time in my career. Oh, here we go.
Yes. Yes,
Good few shirts here.
Great to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you, mate. All good?
So, welcome to What I Wore. I hear you're a fan.
I love it, yeah. I love growing up. Kits was my thing. Yeah, loved it.
So it's for you. So you know the drill. We've basically got a collection of shirts to tell your life story. So me and you are just gonna have your fun. I'm literally gonna be your tour guide today. So take me through.
Oh, look at these.
So I've got on this tailor-made England one that you wore, number 9.
Yeah.
And for you, we've got your match worn 2006 World Cup against Sweden.
Oh, okay, look at that. The old
That's
21.
the actual shirt that you wore.
Is it really?
Yeah. I've got a lot of Swedish friends.
No way. Do you know England Uruguay? My first England goal. I think it was 21 on the front and 12 on the back, and the kit man made a mistake, and I've still got that shirt at home today. Yeah, and he was mortified. He thought he was going to get sacked, but it was a special shirt. It was my first goal at Anfield. It means a lot to me, that number.
Do you mind popping it on for me?
You want this on?
Yeah, I need it on. I need it on.
I can't live the actual shirt.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Always long sleeve.
Still fit, yeah?
There we go. My arms have got a bit longer, I think.
Cool, so we're going to start with early childhood growing up. Huge Chelsea fans. We've got some classics here. Pick me through these, tell me which ones you like.
Yeah, well, obviously my dad was a big Chelsea fan, took me to Chelsea as a kid. I was Peter after Peter Osgood, believe it or not. And yeah, I mean, these ones, yeah, we're talking, we're going Colin Pate. That's a beautiful shirt, that, isn't it? And now we're moving on, obviously, this is when Chelsea started going a bit more upmarket with some of the signings, the Amiga times.
Yeah, then this guy at the back.
Glenn Hoddle came, because I remember when Glenn Hoddle came, he came as player manager and he started playing sweeper. And he was one of the best players I've ever seen. And then I remember he signed Ruud Gullit, which was this kit. And then Ruud Gullit came. Yeah, there it is. Called it. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, Ruud Gullit, I actually had this kit. It's disgusting, to be quite honest.
We're gonna go Italian 90.
Yeah.
Got some classics here. Just talk me through these.
So this, I had this shirt.
Yeah.
For me, Italian 90. I would have had 8 on the back there if I was honest, because I mean it was Gaza in his heyday. That kit, I actually wanted the shell suit. You know the 1990 shell suit that Gaza wore.
Let me tell you, I've got something for you. Just keep it going. But I've got something.
I asked for it for Christmas. And I never got it. But this 1990 World Cup was I was already into football, you know, I was 9 years old, but that just cemented I was gone after that.
So you're inspired by all of these greats, all of these starry names, and you're doing your own career, and then you join as a young apprentice.
Yeah. Would
you say this is the first time you thought, as being a kit enthusiast, this is the first time you thought, you know what, maybe I can wear a kit for a living myself? Yeah, I think I signed for QPR. Well, I was at QPR since I was 9 years old, and this Les Ferdinand, Rufus Brevitt, Nigel Quite, you know, Kevin Gallen. They were all wearing this kit, and that's what I was aspiring to be at that time. And yeah, it was only Jerry Francis left, and then I moved on to Jerry Francis. Went from QPR to Spurs, and the pony kit. That's nice, isn't it?
So this was obviously a lot of good memories for me. Both of them. That one I was a bit too young. I was a schoolboy when that kit was, when the boys were wearing this kit. But this kit here, this is what I wore in the youth team. I used to clean David Ginola's boots.
Really?
Yeah. David Ginola, yeah, there we go. But David was great. I got a rollicking from him a few times because I used to just cake his boots in like polish and you couldn't see the Nike sign. So like his sponsors started having a go at him for blacking out the Nike sign, and it was me just caking him in dubbing and polish.
And he went off on you?
But yeah, he was fuming a bit, yeah. Only because his sponsors were angry, but I looked after him well, and he won Player of the Year that year, so I put it down to the polish.
Shining.
Yeah.
You moved on.
Yeah.
Joined this team.
Yeah.
Memories from this season?
That season was amazing because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And I ended up, you know, winning Player of the Year at my local team.
And then you move on, this shirt here.
Yeah, great times. Yeah.
Talk to me about the sponsors. How did you like this kit? Because, bro, I don't like it.
Well, things have moved on, haven't they, from Pompey Sport and Bishop's Printers. But do you know what? This was one of my favourite times. It's my first time, because when I was at QPR, I was still living at home with my mum. You know, I could ride my bike to training. You know, so it was like I grew up when I went here. But then Harry came in and took over, and then he ended up selling me.
You did for?
Yeah, to Villa, yeah.
5 million.
5 million.
It's
yeah.
a lot of money at the time.
It was.
What are your memories from this shirt?
Yeah, I mean, just a bit of regret, really. I didn't do myself justice in the Villa shirt. I think, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't ready for the Premier League till I was about 23, 24. And I signed here at, I think I was 20 odd. So yeah, I wasn't quite ready. I remember my home debut, I scored against Newcastle. At the other end of the field was Alan Shearer. And I was like, I'm a million miles away from that.
So how special is this kit for you? The Southampton kit?
Yeah, it means a lot, it really does, because yeah, and the away one the same. This is a really good season for me, but it didn't start well at all. I signed there. It was Paul Sturrock who signed me from Villa, and it was James Beattie and Kevin Phillips up front. I found it hard to dislodge them. Obviously, two very good players. And then James Beattie moved on. I still wasn't really getting the game. They were playing a couple of young lads in front of me, Dexter Blackstock and Leon Best. And it was only really when Steve Wigley, the caretaker, got sacked, Harry came in. Harry Redknapp just went, right. He said, how are you not playing? I was like, I turned, no, I've just not been. And he said, well, you should be. He said, you and Kevin Phillips will be my front two till the end of the season. So from Christmas to the end of the season, I scored 16 goals, I think. I was just on fire. And he just gave me loads of confidence, Harry, and just believed in me. And it wasn't quite enough to get us out of the problems we were in. I loved my time there. I didn't really want to leave, but it was hard to turn down Liverpool, really.
Oh, my days.
When Liverpool came in, obviously,
Yeah.
my agent actually said to me, you sat down? I said, yeah, I'm all right. And he said, you know, this is off the back of Istanbul.
This is off the back of this. This kit was the
Yeah.
kit they were at Istanbul. So I'm saying, like, you're chilling one day and you get the call from Rafa that you're going to be in this kit. What is that feeling like, bro?
No, it was just different. It was just amazing because although I had an amazing end to the season at Southampton, Liverpool just won the Champions League. It just, you know, I watched Istanbul and I just got in the England squad. And I remember actually sitting with Joe Cole. Then we obviously watched that unfold, and then a couple of months later, I'm signing for them.
What are your memories when you see this shirt?
My time at Liverpool was probably the best time in my career. They were close to beating us in that final. Stevie just scored two absolute belters in that game. And for me, I grew up with the FA Cup. That's what I grew up with. The Champions League wasn't it wasn't the Champions League then. So the FA Cup for me was the one to win. So that was a special day for me because my dad was up in the crowd, and we'd been through not just only this, the Sunday League football and district. My mum taking me to school games, and the pinnacle for me was winning the FA Cup. And then, so obviously, when we beat West Ham that day, and I was holding it. It was just me on the pitch holding the FA Cup, and seeing my dad. It was a special thing.
I think this is your most iconic kit.
Yeah.
When I think Crouchy, I think number 15, Adidas. Like.
I think the same thing. And this is probably my favourite out of all of these. Is probably like when I'd say I was in my prime. I think scoring goals. Every game I went into in this kit, for England as well at this time, I just felt like I was going to score. It was sort of between 2006 and 2010. Really, they were the best years of my career. And
when you see this shirt here. Final?
Yeah, 2007. I have a lot of regret about this, mainly because of him, but I do because I just felt they were there for the taking, and we didn't take that opportunity.
Was you guy that this guy started over you?
Yeah, I was. We played up front on his own. I felt that even if he didn't play me, he could have played Bellamy, or I just felt we should have attacked them more. We had one up front and five in midfield, and I just felt that. I felt like I would have been sitting here with a Champions League winners' medal instead of a runners-up medal if we'd have gone for it. I thought they were a not as good Milan team as 2005.
So we're going to move on slightly. You move to Portsmouth.
Yeah, back to Portsmouth. Yeah. I loved it. I mean, it was great. I mean, we built it together, a team. Myself and Defoe. I mean, it was a great combination, and we just hit it off straight away.
This kit,
I mean, that for me, I loved that kit.
You move on here.
Yeah, Spurs. Great time for me that. I think I can see the kit.
When you see this
well,
shirt,
just as soon as I think of this, I think about the goal against Man City.
£50 million game, they dubbed it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, to score the winner in that game, I don't think I've ever seen an away stand go as mental as that day. When I scored that goal, I ran behind the goal and just looked up at the crowd, and there wasn't one person who wasn't losing the plot. And still, even to this day, people still talk to me about it. And I'm getting a few goosebumps now. It's like it was a great occasion.
Moved to Stoke, 2011.
Yeah.
And then 2016, you joined the Premier League 100 club.
Yeah.
In this shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of admiration for Stoke. I was there, I think it was there for, 7 years, 6, 7 years. I got my 100th goal there. I always wanted to do it, and thankfully I did. So
we're gonna talk about England, but before we get there, we've got you a gift. Now, earlier you mentioned there was a particular item that you wanted growing up. We've got you this.
Do you know what?
It's yours.
Am I allowed to take this?
It's yours.
I'm only going to wear it in the house anyway, so I don't think it's going to fit me.
No, you got to try it on here. That's the rule. You got to try it on now.
It's not going to fit me. Oh no, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, I'll tell you what I'd have give to have had this when I was... that's not bad.
Hey, you can rock that.
What I would have give, honestly, my mum and dad, they just couldn't find it anywhere. I'm actually quite emotional.
All right, so then debut, 2005.
Yeah.
At Southampton still, and you get that call up from Sven. How special is this?
Yeah, it's special. My England debut was in America actually.
Yeah.
We went to an end of season tour, and there was 2 games out there. I actually got injured. I was supposed to start in the first game against the USA. Got injured, and I played in the second one, and I was like, I'm going to be a one-cat wonder. One of those, because it was one of those end of season. There was a few, a few of the lads were there, like Beckham, Owen was there, Sol Campbell, a few of the established, but there was a few new faces. I thought, you know what, I just got to get 2 caps. And I played in it anyway, the Colombia game. I set up Michael Owen for his hat-trick, took a quick free kick, played quite well in the game, and I thought, if the call comes, great. But yeah, thankfully I ended up with 42 caps, which was good.
So then, 2006, you became a household name against these 2 shirts when you bust a little, Talk to me how special these shirts are when you see these.
Yeah, this is the first time I did it. People always go back to the Jamaica game, but the first time was Hungary. But the whole robot thing was David Beckham at a party at his house. And they were filming it for TV, and I just did something stupid on the way to the dance floor. And Michael Owen calling me, Rio, oh my God, what was it you did on the dance floor? I said, it's the robot. And he said, well, if you score, the next game was Hungary, if you score, you've got to do it. I thought, no worries, I was on the bench. I won't get on. Anyway, I did get on and score, and for some reason, I just thought of it straight away. I was like, I've got to do the robot. And then did it, and then it went mental. Actually, Sven said to me, he said, because it was taking the heat off him a bit, and he was like, if you score, you must do this dance again. I said, okay, fair enough. So Jamaica, I started this game, and I got a hat-trick, yeah. So I scored the first 2 goals, I did the robot. I remember getting a penalty, and I missed the pen, because I was taking a mick a bit. I tried a paninka, tried a little dink, missed it. Felt like an idiot. I thought, how many times are you going to get a chance to score a hat-trick for England? So then the last goal, there was no robots. Thankfully, I scored, got a hat-trick, and I was just like, stop messing around now. Do you know what I mean? You're playing for England. Yeah,
exactly. So you played for England 2006 World Cup. Yeah. Crucial goal.
Yeah,
you're a fan from Trinidad.
Yeah, they don't like me there. I spoke to Kenwyn. Kenwyn Jones was saying they hate me in Trinidad, yeah, because they held us for 75 minutes, 0-0, and I scored, and looking back on the goal, I just thought Bex crossed it and I headed it in, but looking back, obviously I've got a bit of his hair, and that does look quite bad, but I genuinely had no recollection of doing that. People asked me after the game, was it a foul? I was like, we're talking about foul. But yeah, I'd obviously just trying to get leverage and just pull anything I can. But do you know what? I scored in a World Cup. No one can take that away from me. I grew up watching the 1990 World Cup.
and I managed to play in 2 of them and score. So always very proud.
Okay, now when I bring out these 2 shirts, what are your memories?
This team was a team that should have won the World Cup. If you think of the team like Rooney's, the Owens, Gerrard, Lampard, Beckham, Joe Cole, you know, Rio, JT at the prime, Ashley Cole, we should have won a World Cup that year. And yeah, I don't know, you know, moments changed the course of it, but I think we were a better side than Portugal. I think they just sort of, you know, obviously penalties and with the sending off, it didn't work out. But that was a team that should have won the World Cup.
So then next World Cup, 2010, you would get the shirt that I'm wearing at number 9.
Yeah.
Tailor-made.
Yeah, these were tailor-made as well. This is the only kit that actually fit me properly, I'd say. Over the course of my whole career, they got this actually tailored.
Was it important getting a number 9?
Yeah, I got the number 9 for the World Cup, and it was actually Franco Baldini, who was like an assistant to Fabio Capello, who rang me. I was on the golf course, believe it or not. And he said, right, I've got a bit of news for you. And I was like, okay. And he said, you're in the World Cup squad. And I was like, amazing. He said, you wear a number 9. He said, do you want the number 9? And I was like, of course. So I ran my dad and said, I'm playing. I said, Dad, I'm starting for England, 2010 World Cup, 100%, I got the number 9. He was like, that's amazing. I think I played about 3 minutes.
So
yeah, it was a bit of a blind really, but I had the 9 anyway.
Finally, ending question. You're in a burning building.
Yeah.
You've got a chance to save 2 kits. So the first kit is based on your most fond memory wearing it.
Okay.
The second kit is based strictly on the look. So
okay.
Yeah?
All right,
look. So we're gonna go to the first one. Your most fond memory wearing a football shirt. Let's go. Remember the building is burning, so we've got to be kind of quick here.
Okay, so I've got to be quick. Yeah. Can I just go like too quick?
Yeah.
Right, here we go. We're burning. I'm going to take these 2.
No. You got to take 1.
No, I'm taking 2. I've got 2 arms.
Good point.
I can't separate those 2 for what I did in these.
Okay. So second time, strictly based on the look. Second kit, strictly based on the look.
As a look, I like a black kit, and I think that Portsmouth kit for me, I like the look of that. I like a black kit.
Awesome. Peter, thank you for coming on.
Do you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Really enjoyed it. Good
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Yes, guys, another What I Wore episode in the can. For more videos of What I Wore, click up here.
To subscribe to the BT Sport YouTube channel, down here.